Let's talk Christmas Eve. Come on in, welcome to my home. Let's talk about Christmas Eve. Now, some of you probably have your Christmas Eve completely planned out. I mean, completely planned out from the time you wake up till the time you go to bed. You know exactly what you're doing, and some of you haven't even gotten the slightest clue. We're going to talk about that and things that you can do to make your Christmas Eve just a little bit better, a little bit easier, a little bit happier on yourself that can also tie into Christmas Day, because there are lots of things that you can do on Christmas Eve that you might not think about, and there are lots of things you can do Christmas Eve that will make Christmas Day even better. But I guess I should get up and actually start my day. Let's talk about those of you who do not have plans for Christmas Eve. Because some of you do have plans for Christmas Eve. You are traveling, you are cooking, you are doing something Christmas Eve, and that's really cool. I mean, I know what that's like. This year we are not traveling Christmas Eve, but we have. And if you do have those sort of things coming up, your Christmas Eve probably is already booked and those sort of things. Now, there will be ideas for you to do when you get there or those sort of things which you can take ideas from. But if your Christmas Eve is already booked, do not feel like you have to overbook Christmas Eve, because there's nothing worse. And let me tell you one thing which is really important. Do not feel that you have to force people to do the things that you want to do on Christmas Eve. I mean, it's Christmas. If somebody says to your idea, I don't have time for that, it's okay. They really don't have to do that. So let's think about fun things that we can do Christmas Eve, things which will help you for Christmas Day, and then just things which are just for you. I know I always start my Christmas Eve by thinking about, or at least looking at my list of what I need to get done before Christmas. All of that goes down on my list, then I can relax and say, okay, cool. Because if I have to worry about having fun and then also think about, well, while I'm having fun, all of these other things are looming over my head. No, I'm not going to be having fun then. I'm going to be thinking about all of those other things. So let's concentrate on what we can get done first thing in the morning, get out of the way, so that then we can have all those fun activities that we really want to do. Not those activities that we are forced to do. This should all be fun stuff, things that you enjoy, things that will put a smile on your face, like, I don't know, here's a cool thing. Christmas Eve is the one day of the year that I know for certain we're ordering out. We are literally going to get something, probably a pizza, simply because it's Christmas Eve. Who wants to dirty up the kitchen on Christmas Eve? Nobody. And probably one of the things that I love to do is set my Christmas Day table. If my table's all set, I don't have to worry about that in the morning. I have all the glasses, dishes, all that stuff out. So that will be cool. I have that done and I don't have to worry about it in the morning. And that takes another load off myself on Christmas Day. But let's get into those activities on Christmas Eve that are always fun to do. Like, one of the first ones can be a tradition. I know for a lot of people there is the tradition of giving a book on Christmas Eve, and I think that's one of the really cool traditions. If you present a book to somebody on Christmas Eve, that gives them something to start reading on Christmas Eve. I mean, imagine it. You're sitting back there and your house is really quiet because you know that everybody is somewhere reading a book Christmas Eve, and that's really nice. Now, to go along with this, and what can be really fun and keep people out of the kitchen, is you can make a wassail or cider or hot cider or something like that. I have a video which shows you how you can, in a crock pot, make a wonderful cider drink that you can have sitting outside of your kitchen, that people can come, fill up a glass, then go back to whatever they were doing, and they don't have to do this as a collective. I think Christmas Eve is a great time to do a grazing issue, where you can have things that can sit out and people can snack on them as they wish and enjoy those sort of things. Because some of you are going to want to do things as a family, some of you are going to want to do things by yourself, and that's really important. While family time is great and wonderful at Christmas time, I know some of you are still wrapping presents and that sort of thing. Some of you just do want the time to recuperate or prepare for family time, so having some alone time is great. So what can you do in that alone time? That's really up to you. You can read a book, which is what my favorite thing to do for my alone time on Christmas Eve. There are lots of Christmas books that you can read, however, you might not want to start a book on Christmas Eve. You could read some Christmas stories, which are really cool. I know one of the big ones a lot of people like to do is read the Christmas story. You can read from the Bible. You can read, Yes, Virginia, There Is a Santa Claus. That's one of those great stories to help you through the Christmas holidays. Also, include it down below in the links, because I do have links for most of these things. There is a wonderful letter from Irma Bombeck and Martha Stewart, an exchange about the perfect Christmas person and the normal Christmas person. And that's a fun little read because it shows how some people take that Christmas to the nth degree and then they genetically engineer their own reindeer for Christmas, and other people don't do that. Either way, it works, and whatever works for you is great. One of the things I do love to do Christmas Eve is go look at holiday lights. Holiday lights to me is just one of those great things, and on Christmas Eve, especially if there's nothing else going on, I can put on some Christmas music and drive around looking at all the holiday lights in town. That's a lot of fun, but then so again are Christmas movies. So, what are the best Christmas movies? Well, they're your favorite movies. Christmas movies for Christmas Eve have a tendency to be those movies that we all know and love and probably can recite the lines by heart. Everything from Christmas Vacation to The Grinch, to whatever you like. I know one of my favorite Christmas movies, which is not 100% a Christmas movie, is Holiday Inn. Movie, musical, black and white, it's one of those fun things. But you also might be into White Christmas, or you could be one of those Die Hard fans. For those of you who do not think that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, guess what? You're probably right. For those of you who think that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, guess what? You're probably right. It's what makes you happy. I know Home Alone has a tendency to come up a lot on Christmas time, and also A Christmas Story. Yeah, those are good holiday movies. And it's a great time for you to sit there and watch it by yourself, or to sit there and watch it with family and friends. That's always a fun thing to do on Christmas Eve, so that you can enjoy the family and friends that you have. But then so is Zoom calls on Christmas Eve, especially during the day, are always a lot of fun. It's a great chance for you to get a hold of those people who you might not be seeing for Christmas Day, just people who you want to, extend a Merry Christmas to, simply because it's so much easier. You can get onto your computer and or onto your phone, wish everybody a happy Christmas, enjoy things. You could even do a Christmas viewing where all of you get together. I think, what was it? Netflix does a thing where you can all watch a movie together. And that would be a lot of fun for people who can't be at your home for Christmas. You can all get together and enjoy that Christmas time. And this way, it's also one of those great things, especially if you have friends who you would like to spend Christmas Eve with, and you know that they're going to be off on Christmas Day with their family or those sort of things. This is a great time to spend it with that extended family. But you do not have to stay home on Christmas Eve if you do not want to. If you want to go out with your friends and family and meet up with people on Christmas Eve, that's another great thing to do. It is really up to you what you want to do. Some people make it a big tradition where if you go back to your hometown, you might run into all of those people who you grew up with who are out and about enjoying Christmas Eve festivities. It's a great time to get together and really, catch up on those things that you've always wanted to ask them or talk about, and you just haven't had a chance during the year. And it's a good time to meet up face to face if you can. If you can't, that's absolutely fine. Like I said, you can do a video conference call. That's another great time. And this is also a really cool time for, if you have in-laws and those sort of things where one half of the family is across the country and you're in one other place, Christmas Eve is that best time to get together and spend the holidays together with those people who you might be not spending Christmas Day with. Another thing that I love to do on Christmas Eve is make Christmas cookies, as long as I'm not in anybody's way. One thing that I have learned from multiple years of experience, going out to the store on Christmas Eve is probably one of the worst ideas ever. I know a lot of you wait until Christmas Eve to do your Christmas shopping, which I totally do not understand, don't understand that at all. But it's one of the things that you can do if it's one of your traditions, if it's one of the things that you like to do. A couple of things to remember is stores have a tendency to close early on Christmas Eve. Stores have a tendency to be crowded on Christmas Eve, and probably a lot of people don't want to actually be there on Christmas Eve. So that is something to think about. I myself find Christmas Eve as one of those things where I really do like to spend it at home. I know a lot of you right now are saying you always spend every day at home. Well, yeah, I do like spending every day at home. However, Christmas Eve is one of those days where I do like to bundle up with a blanket and watch TV, read a book, and know that everything is all together because I've done my mise en place. Mise en place? I think that's how you pronounce it. So yeah, Christmas Eve, I try to get everything cut, prepared, everything ready, like possibly get ready for Christmas Day. But I also try to get everything ready that I could possibly get ready just so that I can enjoy Christmas Eve, doing whatever I want to do. This is my time to just really relax, because let's face it, the Christmas holidays can be relentless. And I know a lot of you are probably getting ready to go to church on Christmas Eve, which is wonderful. That's a great thing to do. And then a lot of you are getting ready to go to bed early on Christmas Eve, once again, which is wonderful and a great thing to do. But make sure that it is what you want to do on Christmas Eve. Like I said earlier, way back then when I said, include people in doing things that they want to do on Christmas Eve versus the things that you want them to do on Christmas Eve. And if somebody tells you that they don't want to do something Christmas Eve, believe them. But then again, if somebody asks you if you want to do something Christmas Eve and you say no on the hopes that they'll ask you again, don't do that. No. Christmas Eve is all about having as much fun as you want to have. One of the things I will tell you that is really cool to do on Christmas Eve, take pictures. Take pictures of your house as it's all ready for Christmas so that way you can remember what Christmas looked like on that year. Maybe you've already taken your Christmas pictures. Okay, cool. It might be a great time to take family pictures. It might be a great time to take pictures of the outside of your house. But document what you've done, the things that you did, the gifts that you've given. And it's also a really fun thing to do on Christmas Eve is to look back at past Christmases. You can get the TV all fired up or whatever. And look at all of those Christmases that have come before, and the entire family can sit around listening to Christmas music, talking about the Christmases of Christmas past. And that's a lot of fun, sharing family histories, remembering things, because they're going to be things which you haven't even thought about. Decorations, the way things were, people, those sort of things. And the only way that you're going to remember those things is if you have some sort of history. This is also a good time to look back at, not just on New Year's Eve, but on Christmas, to look back at the year. I generally on Christmas Eve like to look back at the Christmas season and see what things that I did, what things that I enjoyed, because it's one of those chances that I have as the cookies are baking or somebody, I'm waiting for people to show up to do that. This is one of those great chances that Christmas Eve can be a lot of fun. One of the things that I do not do on Christmas Eve is stress. There's no point in stressing. Things will go as they will go. Enjoy yourself. Get some hot chocolate. Have a wonderful hot toddy, whatever beverages that you want to enjoy them. Stay home if you want, go out if you want. If you want, you could get a whole bunch of people together and stay home and go caroling in your house. I am not a big fan of caroling door to door simply because, well, I don't know what a person's doing at that time of year. And when you come up to somebody's door caroling, They might be busy. However, if you do want to go caroling, walking slowly down the sidewalk in a neighborhood, singing Christmas carols, might be a lot of fun. I don't know. I'm not really 100% certain on that one, because there are lots of lists of things that you can do, linked down below in the description, on Christmas Eve, but I can tell you what I like to do. And like I said, those involve reading, those involve watching Christmas movies. Will I set out some cookies and some holiday cheer for Santa to drink? Probably. Will I set out a carrot for the reindeer? Probably. And that way Santa will know that he can come to my house and drop off more holiday joy. And it's really nice to do those sort of things. Now, one of the things which I did one year, which was a lot of fun, late at night, but kind of weird, and I don't know if I'd do it again, I did walk around with my set of jingle bells and just walk the neighborhood shaking the jingle bells, because you know what happens? Kids, as they're laying in bed, hear the jingle bells. Would I do that again today? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. But I want to have a lot of fun. I want to enjoy myself. If you have had the time, or if you haven't had the time, now would be a great chance to make that Christmas soundtrack that you've always wanted to make and listen to it in the background on Christmas Eve. And just be with the ones that you love in whatever way that you want to be with them. If it's on a Zoom call, if it's in person, however you want. Just make this a time that you can enjoy yourself and schedule time for it. Schedule time for yourself on Christmas Eve, because this is one of those holidays where it can just become so overwhelming. No, Christmas Eve needs to have some time which is just you, where you can sit. Maybe you're going to meditate, maybe you're going to relax, maybe you're going to enjoy yourself, maybe you're just going to stare out the window, and hopefully you'll have the Christmas that you want to have. Notice I didn't say hopefully you'll have a white Christmas, because some of you might not want to have a white Christmas. Some of you might love to have a white Christmas. So hopefully you'll get the Christmas that you want. If you do not get the Christmas that you want, hopefully you'll enjoy the Christmas that you have. This would be a great time to figure out how to enjoy your Christmas that you are given versus the Christmas that you want. And it might take some time. Write down all of those things that you are really happy about this Christmas, and sit back and read them and enjoy them and have a lot of fun. Do something enjoyable. I'd like to take this time to thank my wonderful supporters on Patreon who help make this Christmas and every Christmas even better. If you want to help support this channel and support the people who help this channel become real, join us on Patreon or become a channel member. It is a great chance for you to share all those fun and exciting things that happen at Christmas time. Well, I want to hear from you. What do you do Christmas Eve? Because I'm about ready to get my book together. Yes, my phone is right here. Where is my... Yeah, there it is. My Kindle's right there. So I can sit back, cover up with a blanket, put on my room ambiance, and then just read a book, maybe listen to some Christmas carols. I know that the family's coming over on Christmas Day. Everything is ready for that. The cookies are all baked. So, yeah, my Christmas Eve is going to be nice and quiet and enjoyable. I hope that you are having a wonderful Christmas season. I hope that you have a wonderful Christmas day, and I'll see you again the next time you stop by.